One-on-One with Jane Mitchell, featuring the legends.
In the early years of the San Diego Padres, one person, Randy Jones, really helped put the team on the map by emerging as a remarkable pitcher, the National League's 1976 Cy Young Award winner, even when the team wasn't so good. That's part of what makes Randy Jones a legend, his success recognized here at the Hall of Champions. But his other qualities are important too. His humor, his love of the game, his dedication to community, and how he has found a way to embrace all that and share it across generations. 1976 footage of number 35 pitching 4 decades ago at the All-Star Game is a long way from where we sit this day, at his quiet home on a couple of acres with a small barn, trees, birdhouses, a new bird dog in training, and plenty of memories, old and new, of being with the Padres organization. What does it mean to you to be so involved, included, and really loved for what you did so many years ago?
A lot of satisfaction for me. I think it was for me in the mid-'70s, the rapport that I had with the fans when I pitched. I still enjoy them. I still enjoy meeting new fans, meeting new people at the ballpark. I embrace that. I enjoy the kids that are playing the game today. It's fascinating to me to go down and become friends with them, not off the field friends, but they're acquaintances, and we share a passion that a lot of people probably couldn't even realize or understand, but we still do share that. And I always, like I tell Maria, they keep me young.
And happy birthday, just turning 65.
Yes, got the big 6'5", got my Medicare card.
And while he's had some major life changes we'll share later, in some ways he's not all that different from when we first told this story in 1998. Rewind now to when the Padres played at the stadium in Mission Valley.
Very hard to sign.
When Randy Jones plays host around his barbecue at the ballpark, he is humored and humbled by the fact that not every little fan knows he actually played baseball.
There you go.
What do you say, bud? Here, man.
I wish I had $1 for every time I've heard a father explain to a little boy who I am. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's beautiful. Or, you see the number out in left center up there, the number 35. They go, well, this is the man that wore 35.
And he wore it well, as a Padre most of his career and certainly during some of the young club's most memorable years. Not from a team standings standpoint.
We were awful. I mean, we were in the 70s.
But from the standpoint of Randy Jones's achievement, his 3rd year in the big leagues.
In '76, I got to share a Cy Young Award with a whole entire city, county, and all my teammates. It just wasn't Randy Jones. It was a group of us, and I really felt proud about that.
The glorious moment, named the National League's Best Pitcher of the Year, seems unnatural considering his early days in Pee Wee League.
When I was 7 years old, I didn't go out to center field or shortstop or first base. I went straight to the mound.
His parents could have predicted his fate after a trip to the Grand Canyon.
He would stand and throw rocks into that canyon till I thought he'd throw his arm off, and I think he just always was born to be a pitcher.
And he said, Dad, if I can't pitch, I don't want to play. I said, well, you're going to be a pitcher then. So I went home and put a pitching mound in my backyard.
Randall Leo Jones was born January 12, 1950. He has one sister, Martha. By the time he reached high school at Brea Olinda, he had a one-track mind, baseball.
I got infatuated, obviously, by Sandy Koufax, the left-handed pitcher with the Dodgers.
As an all-county pitcher, he earned a baseball scholarship, fulfilling his parents' hope for him.
My college education, they never got that opportunity. They wanted to make sure I did.
After graduating from Chapman College with a business degree in '72, he returned from summer ball in Alaska to an offer from the San Diego Padres. And after just 1 year in the minors, he filled the big club's need for a left-handed starting pitcher.
I was 8-1 in Double-A, and somebody said, let's give the left-hander a chance.
By 1974, his record lacked that same luster, a frustrating 8 wins, 22 losses. So he worked harder that next spring.
I never had a runner on third base. All camp. I didn't even give up a run. I didn't even come close. That's how scared I was. And that's how good I was pitching, actually, in spring training that year.
Good enough to pitch opening day, 1975.
I went 9 innings on opening day, pitched a 4-hitter, and you know what the score was after 9 innings? Nothing to nothing. I got a no decision.
His pitches weren't fast, but his games were, usually under 2 hours, because everything he served up, hitters seemed to ground out.
I had hitters screaming at me, cussing at me, and it's only because they were 0 for 4. And, I mean, if I struck you out, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault. I didn't do it.
His knack to get batters out was his ticket to the '75 All-Star Game, called in for the 9th.
Dodgers manager Walter Alston bypassed his own relief ace, Mike Marshall, telling the bullpen, "Give me that curly little left-hander who gets everyone out."
And the game is over. The final out.
I started drawing a few more people. Everybody getting more involved with Randy Jones pitching every 4th day or every 5th day. And that was really magical. And that carried to my 20th win and winning the ERA title the last day of the year.
Then, the magical year of 1976.
You can't believe how nervous or scared to death I was walking down there to warm up. I just never expected or anticipated getting that kind of ovation or response from the fans in San Diego. I mean, we're not talking about like a couple thousand, we're talking like 50,000 people giving you a standing ovation.
And that July 16th, the hottest pitcher from an otherwise losing team was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as San Diego's confounding Randy Jones.
All of a sudden, you know, a San Diego Padre on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Impossible. You can't do that, you know. And there I was doing that.
And he won the Cy Young. But during his last start that season, as he was hoping to win his 23rd game of the year, his ambition backfired.
I threw a slider in about the 3rd inning or 4th inning, and it's like a rubber band snapping. Man, something was wrong there. That wasn't right.
Nerve damage in his arm would plague him for 4 years with the Padres, 2 years with the New York Mets.
But I had an arm that would not respond and do the things that it used to do.
After a few spring training outings in '83 as a Pittsburgh Pirate, he called it quits.
I didn't find myself really missing baseball until every spring. And I think I still get that itch to this day. I don't think that'll ever go away.
But for Randy Jones, the emotional investment was not all he had to manage. His financial investments, a moving business deal, and other decisions went bad.
And the IRS came back, and in a matter of 10 days, I lost everything. Pretty simple. On a business standpoint, you think you're the only one in the world that has to maybe file Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And I remember it was a Friday when I filed mine, and I was 36th in line to file that day. So I filed on a Friday, and Monday morning I had a business suit on, and I went to work.
The fear of not knowing where we were going to end up. The challenge was just the everyday, seeing Randy sad. It's hard on Randy.
Randy's wife, Marie, is his high school sweetheart. They married in college and had 2 girls once he was in the majors. Randy and Marie had been through the highs and lows of the game together, and bankruptcy would be no different.
I didn't think I had a choice not to get through it. And I made up my mind with Randy that we were going to get through this, and we were going to get through it together. And we weren't going to let this destroy our family or ourselves.
I think I learned a lot about Randy Jones and myself, that maybe the good Lord was trying to tell me I wasn't headed in the right direction right before that. Before the IRS came down, I was working 20 hours a day, and you know, maybe I was on my way to killing myself and really losing a lot of family values, I think, to be honest. I think I just worked so much, I was so infatuated with my work, that I really let the family side, the household and everything, it went by the wayside. It was secondary. And all of a sudden, in a matter of 10 days, that became a very, very primary part of my life and very important to me. I know I work hard now, but I never lose sight of my kids and my family, my parents, and my wife.
Through his financial woes, Randy Jones worked for his sister's food service company, traveling around the world to military bases, conducting baseball camps along the way. Then in 1994, during a round of golf with a friend from the Padres, things would change. The Padres needed another food vendor behind center field.
And I looked at Ken and I said, how about the Randy Jones barbecue? And he goes, what's that? And I said, I don't know, I just thought of it. And that's literally where it started.
He doesn't even know where the pots and pans are in the house. How he could come up with his sauce is beyond me.
And all of a sudden I had a lot of people from behind home plate coming out to see Randy before the game.
All of a sudden, Randy Jones was back in the world of baseball. And with the new owners, John Moores and Larry Lucchino, he would be embraced as one of the first true Padres heroes. His barbecue moved to Padres Street.
Thank you.
In 1996, he was inducted into San Diego's Breitbart Hall of Fame.
his two glory years, 1975 and 1976, I mean, it was like David against Goliath.
And in '97, the Padres bestowed on Randy Jones the highest honor possible by a ball club. They retired his number.
There, Randy's number 35 will proudly be displayed and never worn again by a Padres player.
I was very, very proud.
Up next on One, Randy Jones opens up about how and why he made a major life-changing decision. When we featured Randy and Marie Jones in 1998, they had just moved into their Adobe home a half hour outside San Diego. I asked, what's next for Randy Jones?
I don't know what it is yet, but I'll chase it as soon as I figure it out.
And chasing and accomplishing things he has.
Hey, don't you like the porch, though?
His barn out back, a sort of microcosm of his non-baseball feats. And what's inside?
Inside. Beautiful.
2015 marks his 23rd year of Randy Jones Barbecue at the ballpark. But his other restaurants and catering business endeavors have mostly run their course or closed. And his sauce?
I did expand a little bit. I came up with a recipe for a habanero sauce. Got plenty of that. Got plenty of barbecue sauce. You might as well take some home with you.
All right.
I still have maybe 9 or 10 key accounts here locally. But the grandiose idea of having it nationwide and funny about at my age, I said that sounds like work. And I don't think I need any more work.
Too much work.
That's too much work. And I enjoy what I'm doing. I mean, I think last year my barbecue sauce business made about $2,800 for the whole year. I'm just tickled to death.
Wow.
Just tickled to death. See?
Well, at least you didn't lose any.
I didn't lose anything, and and I have a good time with it. And a lot of times it'll be I'll do orders, and all the orders for charities.
Your fishing poles?
Oh yeah,
You're
waiters.
really quite organized. For 5 years, he was on Randy Jones' Strike Zone.
On today's Randy Jones Strike Zone show, we're in Wasilla, Alaska, looking for big salmon on the Susitna River.
Shooting TV shows all over the world for the Outdoor Channel, an offer he couldn't refuse.
Now wait a minute, let me get this straight. You want me to go get a buddy of mine and go out and hunt and fish, and you're going to pay me when you film it? And he goes, yeah. And I said, I'll do that. I got to do that.
With his former Padres colleague and musician Tim Flannery even providing the soundtrack for some episodes.
Throwing sinker balls and sinkers on the line.
Randy Jones has participated in countless charity events, but after 35 years of one-day golf events, he wanted a change. And with some brainstorming with his friend Kurt Gandy, the Randy Jones Golf Invitational was born. It's an innovative way to bring together golfers from charity events all over the county to compete.
And I invite the first, second, and third place foursome finishers, the top three, I invite them to my golf tournament. And you play my semifinals for free. So I got a no sponsorship, and I got with Saquon as my title sponsor, and they have the 2 golf courses out there. So we ended up with 1,600 golfers. I want to crown the best scramble foursome in all of San Diego. It'd never been done before.
The finals are a 2-day event at the spectacular Torrey Pines Golf Course with official scorekeepers. The winners' names are on a perpetual trophy at the Hall of Champions. They also get a private plane trip and golf outing at the exclusive Pebble Beach course.
And we've crowned a champion in both years, and little $10,000 donation back to the charity that they came from.
Beneficiaries in 2014, the Prostate Cancer Foundation. In 2015, the Carlsbad Coral Boosters.
Realize your grandma waits for you.
So what I'm trying to do is motivate more golfers, go to a local pro shop, get involved with a charity golf event. And so who knows if I made a difference doing that, but that's what I'm trying to do.
A smaller but very special event to him is the Randy Jones Independence Walk and Run, benefiting the Home of Guiding Hands, an organization he's helped since his playing years.
They have over 20 homes now that they actually have in-service care. They live there. And what they've done is they've enhanced the lives of these adults and kids, not what they can't do, not what the disabilities are about, what they can do.
It is comforting to know we don't have to keep moving him. We don't have to keep switching to get his needs met.
I like to live here for the rest of my life, too.
To see the smile on their faces and make a difference like that, what the Home of Guiding Hands does. And I'm proud to do this little simple, independence walk and run and try to raise some money and make a difference for these kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talking charity work or baseball, Randy Jones is a fixture on the radio.
I love that about Brandon Morrow, how he competes and locks it in when he gets on the mound. But
At community events and sometimes taking on coaching opportunities as part of the Padres organization.
I don't have a desire to become a coach and live out of a suitcase and travel anymore. I mean, I like being a part of a homebody, but I want to be involved in the game. So I'm down at the ballpark every home game. When they go on the road, I can watch the games on television and still do pre and post game radio. You don't have to be there in person. You can watch it and talk about it. Like I say, every day it seems like I get my baseball fix. And I really, really enjoy what I do.
But for a while, a different kind of fix was taking a toll. While he hasn't talked much about it publicly, he volunteered the subject, sharing about a significant change in his life.
I quit drinking like 8 years ago. It probably was something that was necessary, I thought, in my life. And it was a good move by me. I was ready to do so, and I'm glad I did. The quality of life is better, and I think, probably now my wife don't have to worry about Randy, what he's doing out there.
Do you remember when you decided to stop drinking?
It was a Saturday morning. And, I'd be honest, Jen, I knew I'd had a problem for a year. And I wasn't fixing it. I got up that Saturday morning, knew that I needed help. And I wasn't shy about it. And I told Rita if she wouldn't mind giving me a ride down to the McDonald Center, Miss Scripps. And I went down, and on a Saturday morning, I checked myself in and was there for 34 days and educate myself how to quit drinking. And I needed that. And in doing so, in that process, I came back. I went to 500 straight AA meetings. At 7 o'clock in the morning, I went 500 straight days just to make sure that I'd quit. And I did. And now it's not so much that I'm involved in a lot of AA meetings, but a lot of people that know me personally, have known me for a long time. They know if they have someone that you need some help or somebody to talk to that can relate about a drinking problem. They should call me. I'm happy to do that. But I thought better yet, just being out there by example is probably the best thing I can do for people. It's not easy, and you have to make up your mind that you want to do it, in my opinion. But once you do that, there's a fear factor. Or is your personality going to go away? Are you going to change? What's life going to be like? It's all positive. It's all good. It's what you make it. And I don't regret it one bit.
And he's healthier now.
Yes.
What did that mean to you to know that he stopped drinking? No more.
Yeah, it meant a long life.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it means you
happy.
didn't have to worry about me anymore.
Yeah, we don't have to worry. I don't have to worry.
Yeah. We think of Randy as a legend. Do you think of him as a legend?
No.
Of course not. Are you kidding? All the mistakes I've made, no way you can't be a legend and make that many mistakes.
That's not why. I just
Come on.
Yeah. You're my husband.
That's it.
Yeah.
Embracing and thriving on the positive things in his life. Their 2 daughters, Stacy and Jamie, and their husbands and children. Randy and Marie are thrilled to be grandparents to 2 little girls and a boy.
Little did I know that this sand trap would turn into be a sandbox for my granddaughters.
Aww.
This beautiful oak tree. Always plans now that we have grandkids, and when I bring the dirt in, I'm thinking the swing set that I have down in the orchard right now is going to come up, but this is my future tree house.
I'm bringing my daughter.
There you go. Now that's a great idea.
And the grassy hill, a perfect spot to train his new bird dog puppy, RJ.
Attaboy. Cy was my older lab, and I had to put him down. I think I waited 3 days, and I made a phone call up in Northern California to Red Bluff and to a breeder for a Brittany Spaniel. That's a good boy.
Up next on One, looking ahead, why Randy Jones believes preserving the past is just as important as enjoying the present. Among the orange trees, sunflowers, and garden where Randy and Marie Jones have celebrated family events, Sundays are still mostly reserved for private pitching lessons.
It's an instructional mound. I've built them the last 25, 30 years. I've probably built at least 10 mounds.
One of his success stories, Barry Zito, a San Diego area high school student back in the mid-90s whose parents paid Randy Jones $50 a week for lessons.
The more I saw him, the more I got ingrained into it, because it was just like me. I just saw the same energy, the same burning desire to be the best. Week in and week out when I would see him. And for him to have that success and then eventually win, early 2000s, win the Cy Young Award for the American League. You talk about going full circle.
These are my students.
Hi, guys. I think if there's probably the biggest change since the last time we talked is everybody having an iPhone, a phone with a camera. And it's just absolutely amazing. Where all I had to do before it was just a Sharpie and maybe a quick autograph, right? Well, now every evening at the ballpark is a Kodak moment, like you say, and it's the domino effect. And there might be 40 or 50, different pictures with different people and families, and and I like it. It's like my dad told me a long time ago. And they talk about autographs. My dad looked at me and goes, "Well, you start worrying when they quit asking for it." And I never forgot that.
He's found speaking engagements are different too, with internet searches the norm.
I have to be factual. I can't make anything up anymore. Where I might flower up my stats. Well, it's just too late. By the time I get into my talk, they've already Googled me. They know all my stats.
I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, it's tough, man. Little things you might have used to fudge on, and no, Randy, it wasn't a 2.18 ERA in 75. It was 2.24.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you, Ray.
But technology doesn't scare Randy Jones. And you've kept up with that, though. You have Facebook page, Twitter account.
I do. Just about, quite a few, a fan page. And I remember when I got into Facebook, I thought that was kind of fun, and I got to 5,000 friends and really quick. But nobody told me that that's all you could have.
Right.
I didn't know that. I go, well, wait, that's no fun anymore. The social hour show, that we do now before the Padre games. He got around the bases quick. I remember that.
From now to then, inside his house, a modest display of his professional honors, including the Cy Young. In 2016, the All-Star Game is in San Diego, and that also marks 40 years since Randy Jones won that National League Most Valuable Pitcher Award.
You made our day in those days, I'll tell you.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful era.
But it seems the memories and relationships of the game mean the most to him, including meeting Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax.
It was the 75 All-Star Game. I'm 25 years old. The first morning I went down to have breakfast by myself because nobody was in Milwaukee yet, and no family. And so I walked down there, and there sat Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, and Yogi Berra having breakfast. And I knew Yogi a little bit, and he called me over and invited me to sit down.
Wow.
And I hesitated, because they're set my boyhood idol.
Yeah.
And first time I'd ever met Sandy. And it's just a real pleasure, him and Don Drysdale, and growing up and watching them and up in L.A. when I was a little boy. And we became pretty good friends. And I saw him many, many times, and I just so fortunate.
Randy Jones can tell a story and is sentimental. We met his parents in 1998. His father has since passed away from heart and respiratory problems.
8 years ago, and Mom will soon here be 90 years old and still doing well, very, very well. Still living up in Orange County in the same house that I grew up in.
Along with the San Diego region, Randy Jones said goodbye to two Padres legends and friends who died in 2014, Jerry Coleman and Tony Gwynn.
I was so thankful, Jane, the last few years being at the ballpark, and Jerry not doing as much radio. And he had his own little booth there on Radio Row, and he'd be over there watching the ball game. And I don't know how many nights I would grab a couple of bags of peanuts and I'd run over there with him, and I'd sit there and watch 2 or 3 innings with him and eat a bag of peanuts with him. If I did it once, I probably did it 100 times over a 3-year period. And I'm so glad I did that. I'm just so glad I did. He was a wonderful man, and those are just great memories that I have of Jerry. And Tony, that was just as abrupt and unfortunate. And you're pulling for him, and I think Tony was doing what he loved to do, what he wanted to do, coaching the Aztecs and everything else he was doing. And it's always, unfortunate when you lose a special guy like that, because he had so much to give back. I just remember all the great things, all the positive things about those two gentlemen, and that's how it makes a difference in your life, remembering all the good things.
So walking into Petco and you see at the batter's eye the numbers that are retired, and there is 35.
Yes.
How's that
to
feel?
watch. It
Still.
feels great. It's a real honor. And I think you talked about a little bit about, the dads that, were introduced to me by their dads. Now they have those little boys. And many times at the ballpark, they go, see that 35 out there? Well, that's Mr. Jones' number. And I just feel proud about that. And proud to be part of the Padre history. And I see going forward with the ownership that we have now that I think you're going to see more alumni involvement. Bringing back some of the players that wore a Padre uniform, a little more history. I'd like to get that, a Padre Alumni Association, a group. Come back to the ballpark, feel a little more welcome. I'm excited about being involved in that and making that happen. I think the fans would enjoy that.
Embracing life at his own speed, choosing sobriety. Things are good for Randy Jones.
I think he prioritized things very, very well. I've had a lot of fun. I've got to share a lot more moments with my family. I'm just blessed with the opportunity that I have for a job, and I'm one of the lucky ones. I look forward every morning to getting up and going to work, do what I do. I'm just very, very fortunate.
Randy Jones is timeless. He made his mark on the national baseball stage some 4 decades ago, but his valued contribution, his personality, and the ability to reinvent himself continue to make him a celebrated and much-loved part of the Padres. And he's happy to be along for the ride. I'm Jane Mitchell. Thank you for watching One on One.
For backstory content, visit 4sd.com.